Hi, it's the Stoic Softie here. Today I'm going to be bringing you my top 6 ideas from the book The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This is a fantastic book for anyone who wants to be more self-directed, smash procrastination, and create high quality work. So let's get started. So number 1 is resistance. Freud called this the death wish. It's that feeling we get before we start any task which is going to be beneficial to us over the long term. It's the feeling of resistance we get before we start something creative, something that might take quite a long time to achieve. This feeling of resistance often stops people before they ever start their project. Don't be one of them. Whatever it is that you do, if it's writing, training, creating, rehearsing, set a start time that you're going to start that task and stick to it. When the clock moves around, just start it mechanically. This is how Steven Pressfield describes his writing process. How many pages have I produced? I don't care. Are they any good? I don't even think about it. All that matters is, have I put in my time and hit it with all I've got? All that counts is that, for this day, I have overcome resistance. Liberate yourself from worrying about the outcome. Just get started mechanically at first and the results will come. Number 2 is leave the herd. The highest treason a crab can commit is to make a leap for the rim of the bucket. People often make unconscious pledges to their group to stay mired in unproductive habits. We are the sum total of the 3 people that we spend the most time with. I'm sure you've heard it before, but it is true. Social peer pressure is massive and it works on an unconscious level. If you've got a relationship in your life which you think may not be helping you, ask yourself, is this relationship causing me to become bigger or smaller? Surround yourself with people who are going to make you become a bigger and better person. Number 3 is culture of distraction. We live in such a distracting world. There is always something else to take our attention away from us. It's so much easier to be reactive to our environment than it is to sit down and do good quality, solid work. It's easier to shop online, eat bad food, watch TV. It's much more challenging to sit down and commit to working on something which is going to be beneficial to us and to others over the long term. Pressfield makes the case that the reason we get so distracted by this consumer culture is actually because it allows us to take our attention away from pursuing our own true calling. When you think about it, walking our own path means we have to face our fears of failure, the discomfort of being judged by others. It's far easier just to consume a product or find something new. And there's always a new product or service out there willing to take our time, attention, and focus away from us. The antidote to becoming consumed by a culture of distraction is to develop self-discipline, delay gratification, and develop self-awareness. Number 4 is self-mastery and freedom. A free individual is only free to the extent of his own self-mastery. Those who will not govern themselves are condemned to find masters to govern over them. A core idea of this book is self-mastery. To be truly free, we have to be masters over ourselves. And that means that we consciously choose the actions and behaviors that we take. To be self-directed means that our actions grow from a personal reason for doing what we're doing. Once we have this personal conviction about why we're taking the actions we are, we're less likely to be distracted by things in our external world. Number 5 is professional versus amateur. The amateur becomes consumed with the grandiose ideas about his career and his job. He's easily distracted by external motivators like status and money. The professional, on the other hand, is dedicated to his craft. He does his work for the pleasure of doing it, and he believes he is successful when he manages to improve every single day. The amateur becomes self-identified with his work. So his self-esteem is linked to the successes he has in his career. This means that he constantly fluctuates. He creates his work to try and appease and please his audience. The professional, on the other hand, creates his work for himself. The professional only competes with himself. He creates his work not for any external gain, but because it is his calling to do so. A professional also understands that suffering is a necessary part of pursuing your calling. Things will get tough, things will get challenging. He believes that encountering a significant failure is a good sign. It means you are on the right path. So decide now to view your career, your work, your calling as a professional. So number 6 is escape the hierarchy. We don't have to define ourselves in terms of a hierarchy. So what does this mean? It's when we compete against others to elevate our status, when we evaluate our happiness and success by rank in society. We act towards others based on their rank in the hierarchy, to the exclusion of all other factors. Ouch! That sounds a bit heartless. The freedom we have from these kinds of concerns is linked to the freedom we have as an individual and a creator. To know if you're making a decision hierarchically, you can ask yourself this question. Would I still perform this action if I were the only person on the planet? If there was no one there to impress, then it wouldn't make any sense. The hierarchical concerns are based on a fear about what other people think. It's when we're acting to impress other people, when we're thinking about what they're thinking about us. So if you're a creative person, if you have a project that you want to work on, if you've got that one thing that you've been wanting to do for some time, just sit down and start it. Push through that resistance. That initial stage of getting going is often the hardest part. That was my 6 slick ideas from The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. Click subscribe, and until next time, keep living life and love learning. Bye-bye.